Yeah, still on the case of DCP Abba Kyari. Why disgrace a super cop cannot escape imprisonment? This is coming from a legal expert. The former head of the police intelligence response team, Abba Kyari, is in fresh legal trouble after sting operation by the officers of the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA indicted him. Definitely Mr. Kyari, who is facing possible extradition to the United States on cyber fraud related offenses, risk life imprisonment if convicted by a competent court for the offense of selling cocaine, for selling drug or for trafficking drugs. That is by the way, the police on Monday arrested Kyari some hours after the NDLEA declared him wanted and released a video of him selling a drug, cocaine or thereabouts. According to the statement by the police, Kyari was indicted for official corruption, tampering with narcotic exhibits. I don't know what a narcotic exhibit means. For those who know, I believe you can digest that. A narcotic exhibit and also other unprofessional conduct. Consequently, the police have handed Kyari to the police force in Nigeria for further investigation and prosecution under the NDLEA Act. I would say, consequently, Abba Kyari, that means he was once a police officer, because since he has been dismissed and is no longer a police officer, and he would have I don't really get it, because when you say somebody is a police officer, and I believe before you could join the police force, you would have undergone training, and also so many indictment has befell upon Abba Kyari. Is the same person that they reflected to be, conniving with mercenaries to destabilize the peace in the southeastern part of the country, because the Biafra agitator, who is in Nnamdi Kanu, has been propagating gospel of truth just to destabilize them, and the Fulani bigots. They really and ready know that yes, it is the turn of the foul to change a power, or for power shift, and they believe the Igbos are ripe for presidency or thereabouts. They believe yes, if the Igbo definitely emerges as the president of this great nation, Nigeria, they know they are in doom, or rather maybe that's what they are feeling, and that is why Abba Kyari has been the one, being posted back to the Biafra land, the southeastern state, and working with mercenaries, in printing, or let me say, the inscripting or inscription, which has been written upon themselves as representing the IPOB. So most of the police formation destroyed, they were being destroyed by Abba Kyari. So many atrocities, innocent citizens of either Abia, Imo, Anambra, thereabouts, provided you are in the southeast. Yes, Abba Kyari has committed a whole havoc before this unprofessional business that he went for. According to the statement by the police said Kyari was indicted for official corruption, tampering with narcotic exhibits, and other unprofessional conduct. That's where I want to emphasize on professional conduct. Which is a professional conduct? I believe you all know what a professional conduct or unprofessional conduct simply means. Yes. Consequently, the police have handed Kyari to the police for further investigation and prosecution under the NDLEA Act. The Part 2, Chapter 2 of the Act provides that any person who without lawful authority imports, manufactures, plants, or grows the drug or drugs popularly known as cocaine, LSD, heroin, and other similar drugs shall be guilty of an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for life. Let me read again in part. The Part 2 of the Chapter 2 of the Act provides that any person who without lawful authority imports, manufactures, plants, or grows the drugs popularly known as cocaine, LSD, heroin, and other similar drugs shall be guilty of an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for life. The B part also says export, transport, or otherwise traffic in the drug popularly known as cocaine, LSD rather, heroin, or any other similar drugs shall be guilty. Yes, and also they will be guilty of an offense and liable upon conviction to be sentenced to life imprisonment. The C part also says that sells for those who sell, buys, exposes, or offers for sales or otherwise deals in or with the drug popularly known as a cocaine, LSD, heroin, or any other similar drugs shall be guilty of an offense and liable on a conviction to be sentenced to imprisonment or to prison for life. That's what it is. On this article in section 16, according to the NDLEA law, section 16 of the act also provides the punishment for tampering with evidence, which is one of the crimes Kyari is being accused of. One, on this count, Kyari risks 25 years imprisonment if convicted for evidence for tampering. Wow. Speaking on the matter, a legal luminary, Henry Kelechukwu, who spoke with the Daily Post, said the chances of Kyari getting a prison term were high. Every case usually has loopholes to be exploited. However, this case is quite close-knitted. The reason is simply because the offenses for which he is being accused of or to have committed are offenses which have a semblance of strict liability, where you need not to even prove intention. Of course, it depends on the charge which the prosecuting agency wants to prosecute him with. The nature of the offense you are looking at selling, possession, particularly of the quantity you are in possession of, is of marketable quantity. It makes it difficult for you to exonerate yourself. If you now juxtapose it with the proceeds of crime aspect, which is the dollar exchange rate made for the said drugs, it makes it a multi-faceted charge sheet against him and his co-conspirators. The law has already prescribed in some instances life imprisonment, 25 years in imprisonment. It is actually even more than corruption cases. In corruption cases, you can have a bargain option where you could return the money to the government for lesser charges. But in this option, you do not have the option of fine or returning money. The least option is jail time. Wow. At no time would a jail time not be given or term not be given. Well, it would be recalled that Abba Kyari, in his glorious days, was celebrated by Nigerians, and even the House of Representatives had honored him at the Green Chamber. Chamber for his exploit. I don't want to mention that thing before. I just make a yawn because this thing is making me sick. Because as at that time, I believe Abba Kyari. It was let me say was overrated. Yeah, if care was not taken, Abba Kyari would have been closer to the IG. That is the narrative, and as it is, I would say yes, it's good to be good at what you're doing, but when your good is lower than your lies thereabout, there will be problem. Except you and whoever is involved, or let me say, except everybody, love ourselves as one entity in Nigeria. Yes, there won't be problem any longer. Yes, there won't be problem. Yes, even the democracy itself is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. If everybody is doing their duty one after another, I believe Nigeria would have, make a mark, or would have made a mark, in the establishment world. Yes, industrial economy is thriving. Technology is thriving, and what is thriving in our country, we do not know. Crime, police killing innocent people, Boko Haram challenging 1 or 2 persons, soldier. Well, the ball is in our court, because when we do not dialogue and when we don't, change that constitution, come together and create a more befitting one, a more durable constitution that will guide everybody. Until then, nothing good will come, and that is what it is.